Hey, how you doing, guys? For this week, I've been kind of watching the NAB show in Las Vegas 2016. Of course, that's the National Association of Broadcasters, and so they're going to have a lot of new software and hardware, things like cameras, computers, storage devices, and so on. Now, for that, we're just going to cover DaVinci Resolve 16 for that. I'm hoping to see if there's anything else interesting to talk about for some more videos this week. So first thing I think I'm going to talk about is the new keyboard. Now, this is just a regular computer keyboard. And of course, this one's going to be with color-coded keys to use in DaVinci Resolve. And if you notice on the right-hand side, it does have a jog wheel. And this is actually a far more rugged than an average computer keyboard. But I don't know if it's enough to justify the almost $1,000 price tag that comes with it. Actually, $995, I believe. But I'm sure it's actually durable enough to last you a long time. Now, if you paid for a lot of your work, then I could see this being utilized for paid content. But in other cases, you'll probably be better off using some other devices, such as the the Shuttle Pro V2 and a regular keyboard, for instance. Now, before I go into DaVinci Resolve 16, I'm going to talk a little bit of some of the cons, I guess, of DaVinci Resolve 16. Of course, recently they did add editing features and visual effects to the color correction it normally had for years, which is great. I think, though, on the editing portion, it's still by far lacking compared with other things, obviously with Avid and like Media Composer, Final Cut Pro 10, even Adobe's Premiere Pro. And I've mentioned that before a couple year or two ago. And for instance, I don't think it's even ready for Hollywood blockbuster films, considering those type of films use so much video and audio clips that there's been reports of DaVinci Resolve really slowing down in those cases. So hopefully over the version 16 above, it's going to address those things as far as that goes. So let's go ahead and go into some of the new features and or bug fixes. And one of the biggest changes is they actually added a cut page. Now, the idea behind a cut page is instead of using an edit page, you can use a cut page, especially on projects you are time constrained, such as like broadcast TV, TV news, things like that along those lines. And as you can see, it does that by simplifying the interface. It also has two timelines, with a full timeline at the very top and the bottom with your individual video clips. And somehow this will speed up your workflow. I'm glad they decided to do this with a separate cut page instead of trying to dumb down the video editor. I know kind of Final Cut Pro 10 did that. Of course, they changed it over the next couple of years with, I think, more than 20 updates, but still, DaVinci Resolve decided instead to have a separate page for that. That way you'll still have access to all the full-blown features in your regular edit page, or edit tab, excuse me. And then for YouTubers, broadcast television and news, you can go to the cut page, get things done and really quickly. So I'm glad they implemented that instead of dumbing down the edit page. Some of the other features we have is the added adjustment layer that you can put on top of all your clips and put your effects and things like that in the adjustment layer. Of course, which they do with all modern video editors now. New is that they now use facial recognition. So now you can take all your dialogue clips and put them in one area. And this is done by using artificial intelligence using the Neutral Engine. Suppose it also uses integration with perhaps a GPU powered type acceleration. Now you can get custom timeline settings, which is different frame rates and resolutions in the same project. similar what you can do with, I know, Final Cut Pro 10. I'm not sure, I'm guessing Avid as well. Now they do have tape audio scrubbing, which they had before, but it has pitch correction. So when you're going through dialogue, instead of that wonky warbling that you get, you can be able to tell what they're actually saying, so you can advance it to that area of the clip. You also got smart encoding. That way, to give you an idea how it works. So if you go, let's say you export something out for like a DALI or something like that, and you go back and you just change one or a couple of clips, and instead of re-rendering or exporting the whole thing, it just re-renders that certain section instead of having to do the whole clip. So I can see how that makes things much faster. I'm not sure how they utilize that, but it's actually a feature I'm going to try out for myself. Also, the integration with Frame.io into DaVinci Resolve, something what they did with Final Cut Pro 10, and I'm guessing maybe even Adobe's Premiere Pro. There's a whole lot more things that are going to be GPU accelerated, such as GPU accelerated video scopes. Also, a lot of the DaVinci Resolve fusion effects are going to be GPU accelerated. Also implemented is auto color balancing and matching, as well as I see a lot of H.264 and H.265 enhancements, such as you're going to be able to choose between hardware and software encoding on computers that are able to do this. Okay, so those are some of the many new features and enhancements in DaVinci Resolve 16. They're really the company to watch out for at every NAB. They always come out with something great. And even their old cameras, they do firmware updates on a regular basis, something I wish Canon would do, which they don't do very often, it seems, to add new features. I'm going to watch the rest of the NAB and see what they come up with as far as cameras and other things, and report back if there's anything interesting. In the meantime, thanks for watching, and as always, see you guys later, or thanks for watching.